Hello all and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to connect your security cameras to your NVR software via RTSP or real-time streaming protocol. For this demo I'll be using my Eufy 2K indoor pan and tilt cameras and we'll be setting them up in Blueiris. Don't fret if you're using a different security camera or NVR software, as this process will be very much the same no matter what. The first thing we're going to do, of course, is set up the camera. Using the Eufy app on my phone, I'll scan the QR code to connect the camera to my phone via Bluetooth. Now, I can set up the wireless network on the camera so it can connect. Once the camera's been added, I'll give it an appropriate name. And I'll give it a quick test and confirm it's working before moving on. Now, to set up RTSP on the camera. Open the Eufy app and click on the camera in question. Then, click the gear icon to enter settings. Once here, click on General, Storage, and RTSP. I'll click through the informative prompts before landing on the prompt asking you to confirm a static IP has been set. This step can seem like a bear if you've never changed any of your router settings before, but I assure you it's easy. To explain, every device that connects to a router has what's known as a MAC address. This is a unique identifier that allows the router to recognize your device. Once a device connects to the router will assign an IP address to that device and associate it to that device's MAC address. The IP address does change every so often with things like power cycles. Setting a static IP, or better yet a DHCP reservation, literally just means that whenever that MAC address of the camera connects to the router, it will always be given the same IP address. This is important and you'll see why later in the video, so don't skip this step. Here you can see that we are able to choose between relaying motion events or continuous recording. I'm going to choose continuous recording, but if you're worried about storage space on your Blueiris machine or detracting from your wireless internet experience, event recording may be more appropriate for you. Once we have RTSP enabled on the camera, we'll move over to Blueiris. Hit the plus icon in the top right to add a new camera. I'll name this one Garage. Here, I'll paste the RTSP URL we received from the Eufy app. No need to enter the username or password, as it'll be parsed from the URL. This is why it's so important to reserve that IP address. If your router gave your camera a different IP address, let's say in a week, your cameras would no longer properly connect to Blueiris. In the recording settings, I'll also enable continuous recording instead of alert, as I like to have 24/7 recording so as not to rely on what the camera triggers as an event or not. After this, I'll hit the confirmation and we'll see that a new camera has been added to my Blueiris instance. Now, if you already have your cameras set up with SD card recording or cloud recording, you may be wondering, what's the point of this? Well, there are a few reasons I prefer Blueiris over the alternatives. Firstly, after paying for the license for Blueiris, it's effectively free, and free is my favorite price. You can run it on just about any computer and it doesn't consume too much in system resources. The second reason is security. If you're recording to an SD card and, worst case scenario, someone breaks in to rob you and steals the cameras on the way out, your evidence is gone with them. Blueiris allows me to record to my centralized server hidden away in my home, lessening the chances that footage walks away with a crook. Lastly, and my favorite reason, is that I can pull up Blueiris' web view and keep an eye on my house. This is especially handy when I'm sitting in my office, gaming or working, and I have the door closed. It allows me to keep an eye on my dogs or son and make sure all is well. As an added bonus, if you're a Home Assistant junkie like me, you can also add your cameras from Blueiris into Home Assistant for added automation functionality. As an addendum, it's worth noting that you can also add your Eufy battery-powered outdoor cameras to Blueiris via RTSP as well, but I've found the reliability to be poor at best. I'm not sure if that's because the footage is proxied through the home base or because these cameras only record when there's a motion alert, but your mileage may vary. So that's it. That's how to add your security cameras to your Blueiris instance. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.